Welcome to Anime Brew, a caffeinated quest to avoid the real world one series at a time. I'm Maddie,
And I'm Liz.
and today we are joined by a special guest, Chrono.
Insert greeting here. Just kidding. Hello. It's me.
Today we are talking about Jujutsu Kaisen. But first, it's time for iced coffee breakers. Um, Chrono, since you are the special guest, I don't know how many caffeinated beverages and what types you consume, but if there's anything you've been having lately that you want to shout out.
Yeah, I've been waiting to talk about this.
Okay.
I don't really drink coffee stuff or like tea, but I did have this classic beverage called Oreo Coke Zero,
Oh no.
and
What?
it is delicious.
Is it really?
Yeah, like
Seriously?
when you first sip it, you like get hit with like vanilla Coke, and then like immediately then you're hit with like a chocolatey cookie aftertaste. It's like the best
Huh.
Coke besides like original I think I've ever had.
That's
Seriously.
crazy.
Wow.
It's literally like all over here now. Like it's such a big deal. Like I was at Walmart but I wanted to like just get like a bottle of it to try, which I didn't see. They only had like a 12 pack in cans, but I didn't want to buy a whole 12 pack because I had a feeling that I'd like take a sip and be like, "Nope." But
I mean,
cuz
they have like 20-ounce bottles at the gas station, but if you want to try it.
yeah, so I should go there
Oh my
cuz
goodness.
yeah, it's pretty new. And then they
Hmm.
also to pair with it, they also have Coke flavored Oreos.
Wow.
I haven't,
Interesting.
I
How
haven't seen that
long
yet.
is this
So,
going to
yeah.
last for, do you think?
I don't know. I just saw them when I was at Walmart yesterday. So, and
Yeah,
then
Interesting.
I saw
yeah,
a
I bought like
commercial
12
for it too.
or I bought like 5 of the 12 packs just to make it last for a while because I don't know how long it'll
Oh
stay.
my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
It's good.
Yeah.
You gotta make it last.
The only person I know that tried it was Josiah from Gaming Corner, and he said I've never had a soda that like I don't know how it actually tastes just like the Oreo cookie. Like
Yeah,
exactly.
What?
yeah, it's really close. Yeah,
I need to try this. How can I get this?
Import it.
Could you?
I
Is it
I
even
think that
allowed?
I think that I don't know. Could
it's
you
fifty
order it
dollars
on
to
like
have one
Amazon?
count.
Maybe. It's probably going to be scalped.
It costs you $50 for one bottle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh wow. Well,
You don't even see it. Okay. Wow.
yeah.
All right.
Well, is anything else? Or have you just been downing Oreo Cokes?
Well, pretty much just that and regular Coke Zero.
Nice.
What about you guys?
Nice. For me, right now I'm drinking jasmine tea, which is really good. But
Yes.
my new coffee obsession is pumpkin spice lattes.
Oh
I
no.
made my own pumpkin spice creamer. It's
Okay.
basically
Oh,
just pumpkin and milk.
Just
I don't
pumpkin and milk.
basically took that's the majority of the recipe. Of course, sugar.
Do you have like the
It's
pumpkin
really
spices?
good. But
Do you have like the pumpkin spices too?
yeah, that as well. So it's just like pumpkin milk, sweetener, pumpkin spice. And you blend it up and put it in your coffee.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I like pumpkin spice.
Mhm.
I feel like does that have like a stronger actual pumpkin flavor, I imagine?
It does. It's not like a one for one to Starbucks. I don't know how to replicate the Starbucks taste. It's fairly close. I feel
Yeah,
like just like how with scent, you get used to the pumpkin taste, but you don't actually taste it anymore. Don't know how to explain it. Like you taste it for the first couple sips, and you don't.
interesting. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
curious if it had more of like a natural flavor, I guess, since you're making it. I don't
I
know.
I would yeah, I would guess so since it's not like artificial or anything like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
hmm But yeah,
Um,
yeah, it's
yeah, go
good.
ahead. Yeah. Um, I have not been making pumpkin spice lattes, but I have been also drinking my fair share of them. Um, but what was cool was a couple days ago I went to a local place and they had a specialty pumpkin uh cream chai and it was a chai latte. And I've had like the one from Starbucks. It did not taste like it had a very distinct like its own flavor. That was pretty good. It was very strong on the pumpkin flavor in my opinion,
Hmm.
which so at first it was kind of shocking, but then I got used to it and was like, I like this. This is pretty nice. So,
Oh, alrighty then. I've been
yeah.
wanting to try the pumpkin spice chai at Starbucks. Because like chai is already one of my favorite drinks, and it's like the same flavor profile.
Yeah. It's really good. Um
Mm,
it's like it's very smooth and sweet and a really good pumpkin flavor. So, I think it's a must at some point.
hmm Okay.
Yeah. That's that's pretty much it for me. That's kind of the only like unusual thing I've had apart from my normal sparkling ice addiction and other coffee. But yeah,
Mm,
that's pretty much it.
okay.
So, let's get into the next segment. What have you been binging?
For me, I'm following the trend for like the past 3 episodes. I'm failing and not watching anything. I think I've just
Fraud!
been watching. I
Kick her
am. Yeah,
out!
I know. I've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen at least. I mean, that's the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hoping y'all will cover me this time.
we'll try our best. What about you, Chrono?
So I haven't really been binging anime, like binging per se, but I have been watching like some of the weekly stuff coming out. Like Tower of God season 2 came out. I've been watching that, and um, that show's pretty good.
Mm,
And My Hero Academia, the new season's still coming out. I've been watching that. The Nier Automata anime season 2 came out, so I've been watching that. Um, that's it as far as anime, and I've been watching like some live action shows too, but that's about
I've
it.
I've been curious about Nier Automata, but I think I want to play the video game, and so I probably shouldn't watch it because I'm guessing it's the same.
It's pretty. Yeah, I mean, there's some differences, but it's pretty much the same. And the game would hit you a lot harder. So yeah, I would recommend just playing the game.
Yeah. And then kind of similar with Ace Attorney, since I just started that on stream yesterday, and then kind of same story. It's cool that they make anime adaptations of games though. Like
It
that.
is.
If you don't have time for the Ace Attorney, like the game, the show is a lot shorter. So, and it's the same
Mm.
story.
Because I've also been curious about The World Ends With You, because that looks like it has a really cool animation style.
Yeah.
I
But
haven't seen that.
but I'll probably try to play the game because it looks pretty interesting. But anyway, I guess if that's all, then I'll go into what I've been watching, which is also not a lot, basically, apart from Jujutsu Kaisen, because that took like it's been pretty much like a dedicated month of just watching that show to prepare
Good
for this
month then, huh?
episode.
Been a good
So
month.
I feel like a month is pretty good. I don't know. For casual watching.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's been a good month for you then, if that's all you watch.
Oh, yeah. I I pretty much just have been watching it before I go to sleep. And it's kind of a
Smart.
lot.
It
It's kind of a
is.
lot going on for a right before you go to sleep kind of show.
Yeah, it's pretty
It
complicated.
is.
But yeah. And then I have been also watching a very different show. I have started Love is War from the beginning with my roommate. And we have made it to the last episode of season 1, which is like the best episode. So I'm waiting to watch that.
And the season 3 is pretty good too.
It is.
I have not seen past. I've only seen like halfway through season 2. So I'm looking forward to getting to what I haven't seen yet, but it's so great. I love it so much. It's funny the second time around. It's just as funny.
Yeah, it's one of the best comedies, like animes I've seen.
It is. I love the narrator. That's probably one
Yes,
of the funnier parts.
definitely. And it's like I don't know, have you seen it dubbed or do you just watch subbed?
I've watched it sub. I've heard that the dub is so much better.
The dub, like, I think this is I haven't tried watching it subbed, so I couldn't tell you. But this is one of the only animes I can think of where I would recommend watching the dubbed over subbed, because there's, I'm guessing there's nuances that the subbed, as far as maybe how it phrases jokes or whatever, I'm not exactly sure. If it's probably the same, but there's just something about the like tone of voice and like the narrator, like it's just so funny. Like it's just perfect.
Mm,
I'll have to go back and watch it dubbed then, because I've only seen the sub.
me too.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for me. So guess it's time to talk about what we're all here for.
hmm
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes.
So
For
as you yeah, go ahead. You want to just jump into the story?
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Okay.
For the story, it follows for me, it follows a very basic shoujo plot. If we get this nobody kid, this show reminded me so much of My Hero Academia. We get this nobody kid, and suddenly the head teacher gives him powers. So now now he's a dodo trying to learn his powers, and everybody's underestimating him. He's this overpowered kid. And
Yeah.
and then there's a league of villains. It's like
Yeah,
it's really just My Hero crossed with Demon Slayer.
yeah. Not that you mentioned it, it is
That's
kind of like that.
that's the whole story in my opinion.
Well, he does technically get his powers from the first finger he swallows, but then Gojo trains him later.
True, that's true.
But but yeah,
Yeah.
everything else is like very similar setup.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the I don't know how I feel about the whole cursed spirit thing is kind of confusing for a lot of the show. At
It
least
is.
I was confused. um but I I think I liked the premise what they're doing with Itadori because basically like the show starts off with his it's like his grandfather's dying wish or whatever for him to do do good with his life basically. And so then
Please
he
help others and
feels
die surrounded by people, is what he said.
yes.
Yeah.
And so then he kind of recklessly swallows the finger and agrees to uh basically get all of Sukuna's fingers
Mm,
um to as a way to save people, but then you
right.
kind of see what happens in the Shibuya arc and that goes great.
Well, that's way further down the line. But yeah,
Yeah,
things get pretty messy.
it
Yeah.
Clearly.
does. Yeah. I feel like the whole grandfather backstory, I feel like that's probably one of the best character motives, though. Like, my hero is just that I want to be a hero like everybody else. And like Demon Slayer, I don't have another choice. It killed my family. And I don't know, it feels very different from other character motives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
know, it was cute.
other than that though, I definitely agree with the similarities to My Hero Academia. I personally haven't watched a lot of shonen. Like I've seen like a good amount of My Hero, and then I've seen the first season of Hunter x Hunter. And
Oh, you need to
Right.
finish that. That show is amazing too. It's top 5 for me.
I enjoyed what I've seen of it. I just get intimidated by the length.
Which is why I haven't started it yet. I know you've got me to watch a couple episodes, but they were like
Yeah.
the beginning fluff episodes, so I never got into it.
Yeah.
It's very dark, but there are some moments in that show that have like stuck with me for years. They're so like unique and amazing. Like the one villain from the Chimera arc has like such a unique and powerful ending. So yeah, I
Okay.
definitely would recommend that. That's if you, to see at some point at least.
Oh,
Yeah.
but how though it looks so colorful and vibrant, and the main character's a kid. I don't. I never realized the show is dark.
I
Yeah,
think they're all
Maybe
dark.
true. I think maybe this is like the equivalent of One Piece, maybe. Like it looks cute and kidsy, in reality, it's dark.
Yeah.
I feel like it's even darker than One Piece, personally.
I still need to watch One Piece.
That show's just way too long. I can't get into that.
I'm looking
no.
forward to them remaking it because they're like remaking it from the beginning, and then that's when I'm gonna start it.
Right.
I definitely start watching that. But yeah.
And I'm taking his word for it. Potato Soup said that they are like cutting out the fluff episodes in the remake, which if that's true, or they're fixing the
That would be
pacing.
nice.
Oh, so it's
That would be
500
nice,
episodes instead
though.
of 1,000.
Yeah. No, he said something like 40 episodes instead of 300 or 200 in the same span of time for the show.
Okay, I guess we'll see.
Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know how true that is because I haven't really researched it. But I mean, the Netflix adaptation, they made 10 45-minute episodes. So if they can do that,
True.
then it's got to be possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to what we're supposed to be talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that besides his I guess noble reason for taking on trying to swallow all the fingers, which looks so disgusting, by the way.
It does.
It like it doesn't make me gag, but it just makes me like, why? Why did it have to be fingers? Like nasty looking ones.
Exactly. And the way in the first episode where he just like elongates his tongue and just like slowly drops it in.
Yeah. No.
Mm-mm.
Shiver in disgust.
Yeah, apart from that, I found Itadori to be a pretty bland character,
Mhm.
He's like the
which
typical happy-go-lucky, like
yeah,
nothing gets me down.
Exactly.
that's just
Yeah.
kind of how it is. Um and like I I really do find myself comparing this show to My Hero a lot while I was watching it, and like I felt like all the pieces were there, but the characters just were not resonating with me the same.
It's kind of like
True.
it's kind of like Naruto too, because they got this powerful teacher who has three kids, two guys and a girl, and the main character has this thing inside him, that super powerful thing inside of him. Um, so it's kind of similar to that as well.
Yeah.
That's so true. Yeah.
And they're in a
Yeah.
school together. So, yeah.
But at least we've got Gojo.
Yes, Gojo. Gojo
Coolest man
Sensei.
alive. Coolest man alive, no doubt.
100%.
He just he just carries himself with just like so much like swagger cuz he knows.
He's the best and he knows it.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And he's just
So,
so funny, like him and the mask dude in season 1. I forgot his name, but the salary man, blonde, their
Oh,
dynamic.
Nanami.
It's
Nanami.
so, yes, yes. It's so funny. It's like little kid, big brother. I don't know how to explain the dynamic. It's
mhm.
just
I
so
see
funny
that.
how he's purposefully annoying Nanomi.
Yeah. Nanami's cool too.
He is. I like Nanomi. I feel like out of all the characters, Gojo and Nanami are probably the only two most relatable and like rememberable characters.
Well, you
It's
forgot his
like
name,
all
but
true.
I
I
forget
I
all the
know I
names
know
anyway.
Exactly, there are so many characters, like, how?
Yeah.
It's like all the other students, I don't or all their personalities are either meh or annoying.
You got Megami
It's
Fushiguro, the wolf guy, the student who's kind of like
yeah,
Sasuke.
he is. He really is,
And,
actually. And
and
he
you got Nobara Kujisaki, the girl who's like Sakura, basically.
I cannot stand her.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why, it's just her her personality is like, "Model, look at me. I'm going to be a model." I don't know, it annoys me. I
Peop-
don't know.
I've seen people like her because like she's into girly stuff, but then she's also like pretty strong, and
I mean,
she's not really like a tsundere type character. She's like a little tough, but she's not like super tsundere.
that's true. I didn't think of it in that point of view, and I do like that because, like, My Hero, all of the female characters are very, very feminized,
Yeah,
and you are correct about that. I didn't think about that part.
yeah. I don't think any of the My Hero like class 1A kids are like her, have like the same type of personality as her.
Mm-mm, no.
They're all too happy in that show.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I also think that I liked her more after like some of her backstory and
Yeah,
like
her backstory was
what
sad.
when it gets kind of sad too, and then it kind of feels like you want to care about her.
That is true.
And she
Yeah,
was
I guess when you think about the oh, sorry, you go.
I was just gonna say she was kind of she didn't do that much in season one. She was kind of in the way a lot, but then she had a really great moment in season two that really helped Itadori
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
that we'll get to later.
right.
What were
Yeah.
you saying, Liz?
I was just
Um,
going
go
I was
what?
just going to sorry. I was just going to relate back to the backstory and I guess like how y'all are saying about her actually being a strong female character. I guess when you look back to her backstory, that explains her modelly, girly girl, I want to explore Tokyo personality a bit better. And I
Yeah,
don't know, it does explain it a bit more. Um,
yeah.
that's all.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about like any like specific arcs maybe that what's like your favorite or least favorite?
Um, how about you, Chrono? What's your thoughts? What's your favorite arc?
Well, definitely the Shibuya arc in season two. It's like 20 episodes of like nonstop action and people dying and things happening and cool moments. And
Yeah.
Mm,
especially the scene with Gojo in the subway, that that's like top 10 anime moments of all time for me. What happened? Um,
Mm-hmm.
there was all those so all the bad guys were changing all the like citizens around there into monsters and killing them, right? So and he Gojo's so fast, he like saves them all within point 0.2 seconds in the scene where he's like flying around at like light speed, like trying to save everybody, and also killing all the bad spirits was just crazy. The animation was good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when we get to the animation, like the animation is what makes this show, and it definitely made all of the fight scenes in the whole series were just insane.
I agree. The fight episode. the fight part really good. Like the domains. Like when the fire dude, the volcano guy, he opens up his domain and it just turns into this big volcano. That was so cool. Then Gojo's. I really liked those.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and was it season 1 where Gojo fights
Yeah.
the volcano?
Season one.
Yeah, that was a
Yeah.
cool moment. I like how he like teleported and grabbed Itadori and then teleported him back, and he's like, "Hey, watch this."
Oh,
Watch me smack.
yeah,
Watch me
that's
smack
true.
this dude.
Gojo in that arc was something else, though. Like, I don't
He's,
know.
he's
It's
something
like,
else in every
okay,
arc.
he is. And it's like, okay, you sit here. I'm going to fight this monster. You need to learn. You're going to be beaten up by a bear to learn how to use your curse spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like um I feel like the story in general was kind of like the weakest part of the show as a whole because like I was more focused on the animation for the most part.
True.
It is a pretty show.
So sometimes when scenes were going from one to the other, I was like, I don't even know why this is happening anymore. I'm just I'm just watching everything go down.
Yeah. That's like me and the cultural arc. Like when they're fighting the kids from Kyoto. Like it goes on for like 5 episodes and like the one forest battle, like 3 episodes long. I it's stretched out way too long.
Yeah, I
But he becomes bros with Toto.
That's true,
They
Jennifer
become best bros.
Lawrence.
Yeah. He's
yeah,
got a Toto's got a cool power too.
I, I I did like that. That part was cute.
I do think that was probably my least favorite part of the show though because and just these like the I think it's just me and a tournament thing in anime. Like I think we just don't like get along because I never liked the super long stretches in My Hero either with the competitions like because it felt like it I don't know. The episodes just feel like they drag on to me. And
I,
so I probably even went into this show with those like preconceived notions when that part started. I was like, "Oh, here we go."
yeah,
The first thing wasn't technically a tournament, but they were all like splitting off and fighting each other, kind of like a tournament. But their whole goal was to kill Itadori.
Yeah, which
yeah.
I get it, but still.
I also don't get why does the whole system hate him so much? Like, wouldn't he be a use to kill off all the other demons if you train him?
Oh yeah, that's what Gojo's thinking is. But the school just thinks he's too dangerous and he's gonna grow out of control. So just kill him now.
I mean, they made a pact with Sakna that he's going to chill and do his own thing until he needs to do his thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I'm still in season one, so I bet Shibuya arc is different, but yeah.
Hmm. So then, what do
Yeah.
you guys think? What do you guys think of like the panda guy, Maki, and the uh the the kid who can't speak? Oh, I forget his name.
The one that just says like salmon.
Oh yeah, Inumaki, that's his name. Yeah, he just says like sushi ingredients or something.
Yeah. Uh, I liked them. I kind of wish they were a bit more central, to be honest.
I agree. I didn't
They
like
did.
their bully personality when they were introduced. But
Oh yeah.
getting their backstories, I started to like them so much more.
Yeah, they had they were pretty much the focus of the movie, along with the other guy. What's his name? Yuta. That's right, Yuta. Yuta and them were like the
Right.
star of that movie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, for context, Chrono's the only one here that's seen the movie. So we're just taking your word for everything.
I can
We
tell you
are.
the only important parts of the movie is that Yuta guy's pretty powerful, but he's off studying somewhere else, and they at the end of the movie they end up killing the human form of Kato. So which makes it
Right.
confusing because it's like, why is he still alive in the other two seasons? But you slowly find out over time what happened.
Okay.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, I liked,
Yeah.
but yeah, I did like, um, I felt like the panda guy was so random.
But I'm here for that. I like the panda. I
I do
like the
too.
principal dude. The principal dude is cool. I like his powers and it's cute. It's like why can't I remember the dude from I can't even remember the name from the Panda DreamWorks movie. Kung
Like
Fu
Kung
Kung
Fu
Fu
Panda.
Panda.
Panda?
It's like yeah,
Karate Panda.
Yeah, he's literally Kung Fu Panda.
he is. But the principal and the panda reminds me of the Tanuki dude and Tigress and the other guy. I can't remember names. Know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about Kung Fu Panda still?
Yes, it's fine.
I've only seen the first one like a long time ago, so I don't remember anything about that.
Yeah, I don't really remember anything either.
Okay, okay, never mind. I like the panda.
We're
Point
talking
is,
about
I
anime
like.
here. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Okay, never
I
mind.
guess the principal like put his power into a cursed corpse and it created the panda and it gave it sent and over time he got sentient somehow.
Right.
It's
Yeah,
an interesting concept.
it is. That's cool. And I like how he can change his powers from like gorilla mode, normal mode, and the other mode that's not shown yet.
Hmm.
That part,
Yeah.
I like that part. That's cool.
Yeah.
And the
I
the Inamaki guy like he says like sushi ingredients because the trade-off is when he talks normally and he gives a command it's like extra powerful.
hmm yeah. I feel like that's cool, and I like it's just cute and funny when he says sushi, salmon, whatever.
Hmm.
He's like kind of made up his own little language based on sushi ingredients.
I want to see if somebody translated that and realized what he's actually saying.
Yeah,
That would be interesting.
I I
he gets messed up in season 2.
No.
You'll find out about that.
Yeah. I
honestly,
really like.
what?
Sorry. I was just going to go on to about the twin sisters,
Okay.
Mai and the other one,
Maki, Mai and Maki.
Aki. Yeah. I love their dynamic and their whole backstory. It's sad. Like one twin can control curse powers, the other one can see them.
Oh yeah,
That's like a cool yin and yang moment.
and
And it's
Maki was
and
supposed
it's
to
a
be the strongest of the family, but she can't quite
yeah,
control it, so she has to use the cursed tools.
exactly. And I hate how their family is forcing her to be down a lower level when she basically caught a bullet in her hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why are you at the bottom level? You should be at it too. You're up there with Itadori. No. And it's a cool way to introduce the whole family dynamic and how
Yeah.
of course, there's different clans and different people controlling the whole thing.
And every clan has their own specialty, like cursed ability.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really interesting.
Like Gojo was in the clan that can control space, like physical
Right.
space, and then he was also born with the eyes, which give him like unlimited, like a mana basically, where he can use it infinitely.
True.
He just happened to be born with the eyes and in the right family to be like the best possible combination of power.
Exactly, yes.
That's
Yeah.
why he's the best.
Mhm. The animation of the eyes for Gojo is so good.
Yeah.
Like they're glass blue. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also find it so funny how his character design is when he has the bandana blindfold thing. He looks so much older.
Oh yeah.
Like then when he takes it off, he looks like a high schooler.
Mhm.
Well, he is only like 25 or something, I think, in the when the show starts.
Right. Like I would have thought he's like 35,
Yeah,
40.
that's what I would have figured, but what is the blindfold even for? That part I didn't get.
He, I don't get that either, especially since he switches to sunglasses in season 2.
I don't I don't know. I think it was like it could have had to do with his powers because he did stuff with and without the bandana on.
True.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was like it kind of seemed like if he was doing something really cool was when like we got to see his face. So or like at like a really like
When he gets serious, yeah.
yeah, serious or yeah, like a climax.
True.
So I don't know if it's just supposed to like represent that. I d- maybe he's
They,
like actually taking it seriously when he can see.
they must explain it somewhere what that does. Like in Nier Automata they do the same thing. People wear bandana or blindfolds like that, but they explain that that's like it's actually like their it's like an AR vision type thing where they can that's where their HUD shows up in their field of vision or whatever. But obviously
Right.
that's obviously that's different for this show.
I guess
It's an
when
Apple
if
Vision
you
Pro.
Yeah.
yes. I guess when you can if you think of the core spirits and think of it as a sense, I suppose blinding yourself makes the core spirit stronger.
Oh yeah.
But equally, why take it off to get stronger?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's yeah, yeah.
I like I like the
Also,
go ahead.
is the arrow you go. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I like also from the Kyoto students. There's Mekamaru. There's Miwa the suit girl. There's
Mhm.
the one girl on the broomstick. I forget her name. And there's another like generic looking guy that I don't remember anything about. But I like Miwa's design and Mekamaru's design. Mekamaru has an interesting power where
Mhm.
he's like long distantly controls his puppets and he
True.
gets and then he makes a deal with Mahito at the beginning of season 1 where he'd be fully healed But meanwhile, he's been storing his power that whole time. So he gets his giant robot, so it turns into like a Gundam like battle with Mahito.
Hmm.
That that part was so confusing because I didn't understand why is there a robot that's cursed? Just like a panda is cursed. Like, I don't get it.
Can send his brain out to control this stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
I gave up trying to understand a long time ago.
Mhm. You're right. Yeah, there's really no other way.
What were you starting to say before, Liz?
I was going to talk about the dude with the arrows. The blood reminds me so much of like Avatar and blood bending. That was really cool. But equally, I don't understand. Is he related to the dude with the dogs? They look like they're related, and I don't know.
You mean Megami Fujigoro?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well, there's only he might be. There's only a few. There's not that many clans in the show because there's not that many sorcerers. I know a lot of them are like
True.
distant cousins and that kind of thing.
Right.
Like Megami, I think's a distant cousin to Gojo.
Huh. Oh, okay. Uh,
So there's probably a lot of
When they
that
were
stuff going on.
showing the That's true. That's really true. When they were showing the reason why I'm thinking that is because when they showed the backstory of the dude with the arrows, they they were talking about how all of the other children and siblings did not get the family power. And immediately afterwards, they pan over to Fukugo, whoever the dog's dude, the dog guy
Fujigoro,
is. Fujigoro, yeah.
Megami.
And I don't know, it felt like they were implying that they're related.
Yeah, that's probably true. True
I
then.
think so.
Yeah.
That era guy is the one guy I forgot about. He doesn't do anything in season 2. That's why.
Really? I thought he's so like overpowered. Like he has a cool ability.
I think he shows up right at the end for like 1 or 2 episodes, but he doesn't really do anything. Like most of the
Mm,
Kyoto students don't do anything in season 2 besides Toto.
Yeah.
all right. I guess it makes sense since they're in Kyoto.
Oh, and Mechamaru at the Gundam battle at the beginning, and then he creates that little robot that talks to Itadori. But
Hmm.
All right.
but besides those two, yeah, no, none of the other ones do anything really.
Hmm. Okay. It would be cool in season 3 that they brought them back. It's more of a main focus, like
Yeah, they
y'all were
probably
saying.
they probably will because Mechamaru and
Mm.
Toto had their time to shine, spoilers, Mechamaru got killed. And Gojo got messed up too. So we don't know if I'm sure he'll still be able to come back and use his powers, but he just got a little messed up. They
The
his hand got chopped off at the end.
yeah. The season 2 and specifically the Shibuya stuff like and the end of that really like reminded me of the Hunger Games, like the end of the Hunger Games where it's just like constantly tragic and violent and then
Yeah. There's
except
no-
it's just kind of depressing at the end.
I haven't seen the I've only seen the first Hunger Games, so I don't know what happens at the end. But do tens of thousands of people die like this show?
Yes.
Yes. Lots
Ouch.
of death.
Lots. And a lot of favorite characters die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I would highly recommend reading the books.
Hmm.
Like, definitely read the books.
Yeah, agreed.
Um,
I don't. Mm.
what should we talk about?
We
Well,
pretty much
should we go
talked
through like the
about
event? Should we go
everything
through the
in a
events?
scatter.
Yeah, we've been like ping ponging back and forth, but we could talk about the event, some of the events that in order,
Okay.
True.
at least in season 2.
Yeah. We talked about
But
season one pretty much, so y'all could cover a bit of season two.
Okay.
so at the beginning of season 2, it's the past arc with it shows Gojo, Gate and Gato and then the other chick when they were like students at the school,
Mm-hmm.
and they end up having to protect this girl who's super important for some reason that's not fully explained very well. They put a bounty on this girl for 250,000 something. I don't know if it's yen or what it is. Um,
Yeah.
it must not be yen because that's not a lot of yen. But they put a bounty on her, and all the bad sorcerers, quote unquote, come and try to kill her to get the bounty. So they end up going on. So they kill a bunch, or they don't kill them though. They beat down a bunch of guys that are coming after them, Gojo and Geto, because they're so powerful. It's pretty easy for them, and they end up secretly going on vacation to, I think it's Okinawa or something,
Yes.
and they're all having a good time. They're getting to know each other. Like the girl they have to protect starts really liking everybody and opening up more. Um,
And
and
then
for Destiny, and their Destiny was like to like what, sacrifice yourself to combine with something, or
yeah. Which is that I I don't remember like realizing that she was going to sacrifice herself at the end. Was that supposed to be a surprise?
no, she knew she was gonna die, but she was supposed to. If I'm remembering this correctly, she was supposed to sacrifice herself to that thing at the bottom of the school, but then Megumi's dad comes in and like shoots her in the head. Out of nowhere,
Yeah.
that moment was like so shocking to me.
Yeah.
I was like, is this really happening right now?
Yeah, that was pretty sad.
And on top of that, he like basically kills Gojo too. He
Mhm.
it is his like dead body's lying on the ground, and then he comes and shoots the girl in the head as she's right next to Gato.
Yeah, and like I was sad because I thought it had really good build up to that moment, like with her, I feel
Hmm.
like just like learning more about her and like kind of becoming attached. And then it's like, bam.
Yeah. Yeah, so she would have died either way, but she died for nothing. Her life had no meaning.
Yeah.
And then so Megumi's dad shoots her in the head, basically kills Gojo, and then goes in, messes up Gato. He doesn't kill Gato though, but his mission was successful. He takes the girl's body and he brings it back to the guy who's paying her. But shortly, actually, I know he comes back out of the school, and Gato miraculously somehow is back alive. And that's when Gojo finds out, oh, I'm like basically invincible. My body like healed itself, even though I was dead. And then he uses his blue and his blue and red powers. Like one is cursed energy, one's reverse cursed energy.
Yeah.
The reverse cursed energy heals and the cursed energy like destroys.
Yeah.
And somehow he can combine that together to make purple, which is like I think he called it imagination something.
I think he could just do whatever he wants
Yeah,
at
but
this point.
but he basically blows away Megumi's dad. He like destroys half his body, so he has no chance of surviving.
Mm-hmm.
And which I don't even understand how his dad was that powerful to begin with, because they said he had no cursed energy at all.
Right.
But he's like easily taking out these super powerful guys. So
Yeah,
that part I didn't really understand.
I don't know either. I don't know. Um, so
But
that's
yeah,
the
Gato survives that, and he ends up like going crazy, and that's when he starts to get a hate for humans.
yeah. So
But that's the past arc.
and then we get into the Shibuya stuff.
Yeah. So we come back into modern day, and yeah, that's when the Shibuya stuff happened. There's a lot of different individual battles in the Shibuya arc, but
Yeah.
but um but
Um,
yeah, but yeah, they set up a trap for Gojo down in the subway. And they set up three separate barriers, each that has different properties, so certain people can and can't enter. And
mhm.
they hide where the barriers are set up at different points. So they have to come in all the each group like splits off and has to turn off a different barrier. Like Itadori and Megumi have to turn off this one barrier with this guy who's like immune, who seems to be immune to damage. But so they end up fighting him, and they finally figure out, oh, he's like, the harder we hit him, the less we actually do. So we got to just basically like tap him lightly, and that'll do a ton of damage.
Right.
So it takes them a while to figure that out.
Yeah. Um, sorry, I'm not very good at coming up with interesting thoughts to add.
And he's also with that group that resurrects Megumi's dad as like a puppet kind of thing. And
Right.
and and they they're supposed to be able to control their puppets that they resurrect, but his dad was so powerful that the puppet like got a will of its own and just killed the puppet master and all that whole group.
Mhm.
And then starts going on a rampage, killing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And so by that point, Megumi's like with Nanami. He's trapped in the realm with the fish guy.
Yeah.
You remember the fish guy?
Sort of.
Or he's like no, it's not a fish. He's like a lobster crab type of guy.
Oh, yes.
He's also super powerful, special grade, and I believe Megumi, Nanami. There might be somebody else in there, but they all get trapped in there. They're all like on the edge. They're all about to die. But then
Mhm.
Megumi's dad breaks into the domain right as they're trying to escape. He breaks in and he just puts a slam down on this crab guy that they could not do anything to before. So it's like, how powerful is this dude?
Yeah, because he doesn't have cursed energy.
It's like nobody can affect him with anything they can do because he's like immune to all cursed energy or something.
Yeah.
So he ends up putting a smackdown and saving him, and he fights his own. So he does end up saving them, but then he starts fighting his the sorcerers because he's on nobody's side at this point. and he ends up fighting his own son until he realizes, oh, that's my son.
Yeah.
And then and then he stabs himself in the head when he finally realizes that. He's like, okay, uh I'm not like, he's not gonna kill his own son, obviously, so
Yeah. Yeah, that was an interesting moment.
and then we got we haven't really talked about Mahito at all. The it's that crazy guy made his whole body's like cursed spirits and he can transform people.
Uh, blue hair braid guy?
Yeah, he's got like grayish long hair,
Or
and like stitches on his face.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
dude, like the dude from the very beginning in season 1.
Yeah, he's in season 1 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that changed Junpei, the kid with and his mom.
That arc was sad and also very disturbing.
Yeah, that was depressing. He killed the kid's mom and then he like promises, "Oh,
Showed
I'll give you power,
him.
whatever," and then he killed the kid too.
It's like, and Itadori was seeing him as possibly a jujutsu sorcerer.
Yeah, he was like setting him on a good path because he had a pretty dark path in front of him, but Itadori was kind of starting to break through his shell and starting to make him good.
I know, it was so sad. But
Yeah,
then he turns
I could
into
not
like
believe.
this creepy monster.
Yeah, and then he gets killed. But I
Yeah.
could not believe that was happening. I really thought he would have been a bigger part of the story.
That's what they trick you. It's like they were leading you up to that.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were leading you up to that, and then they stab you in the heart.
Completely.
Yep.
So Itadori kind of snaps, and he's like, because he can't at this point, he can't really hurt Mahito, and
Right.
he's like, okay, Sakuna, like you can control my body now to kill this guy, and I'll do whatever you want. Just help me save Junpei. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like Sakuna's like, no, I'm not doing that. Too bad.
Mm-mm.
So Junpei ends up
I'll
getting
just
killed.
watch.
What's that?
I was just saying, like, I'll just watch. I'll sit here.
Yeah,
And he comes out at the very last moment just because he was about to die.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think he comes out at the last moment for something else earlier in this season for one of the other special grade monsters, and that's when he sees Megami and Megami starts to get his ultimate technique out, but then he gets stopped at the last second because he Sakuna says, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill you. Don't waste your life for nothing."
Right.
Yeah.
But for the Junpei thing, I think that's when Nanami comes and Nanami and Itadori team up on him,
Hmm.
and they end up beating the crap. Nanami ends up beating the crap out of him, and Makihita escapes in the sewer.
Completely.
Yep.
I was so mad that he escaped. He
Yeah,
should have died. He really should have.
that would have saved a lot saved a lot of people in this season 2 if he
Yeah.
had died at that point.
It would have. It would.
Could have just ended the
It's like,
show there.
yeah, you could have saved a lot of pain and a lot of trouble. It's like I swore that Nanami was going to die in that arc. Like he was pretty beat up.
Should I, Maddie? Should I give her bad news?
Sure.
So in season 2, after the fish guy or the crab guy, Nanami runs into well, first they run into the volcano guy who like destroys half his body. Half his body is covered in like third-degree burns.
No.
But but he ends up escaping him, and the volcano guy kills like 3 other like powerful sorcerers. but Nanami escapes. But so he goes further down into the subway and he finds Mahito again, his enemy. And at that point, Itadori walks in right as Mahito like completely explodes his body.
No.
But he like looks at Itadori as he's saying like you'll be fine, kid. Basically, you'll be fine. And then he explodes.
That's so sad. No.
Is that when there's like this really cool like transition? It's kind of like you're seeing this all like unfold like from his perspective. Like there's like distant like piano music,
Yeah.
and it's like that was a really well done. Like it's like him in the present time dying, but then also he's kind of like it's like flashback slash in another place.
Yeah. I think it's like because his whole goal is he just wanted to retire and get out of this whole thing because like it's a drag being a sorcerer because you get nothing out of it. You gotta protect people and nobody knows, and it's really dangerous. People die all the time. So in his mind, he was like on the beach, like spinning around with his arms out in the air, like this is what, like that's what he wanted to retire to. He just wanted to retire to a beach and have a normal, peaceful life. And I think he just had the retirement in his head real quick because he knew he was about to die.
Yeah,
That's so sad.
that was really sad.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's sad.
Yeah. But he looks at Itadori,
My
he's like,
goodness.
you'll be fine, you'll be fine. And that's when Itadori starts his battle with Mahito. Which is actually, I think this takes place at the end, so we've kind of been going back and forth and skipped some stuff. But before that, Itadori encounters the third brother. That they killed the first two brothers at the end of season 1, like the real weird looking two guys. I think one was like a giant purple blob of like faces and stuff, and the other guy like had like a mohawk and like piercings and weird, and was like half naked.
Yeah.
But they killed them two at the end of season 1. But so the last brother that's left, like wants revenge because they killed his two brothers, and he can also manipulate blood like the arrow guy. But he manipulates it into like laser beams that can pierce anything.
Dang. Okay.
So he ends up getting into a battle with Itadori, and he gets Itadori puts up a good fight, but he ends up getting the crap beat out of him. And he had a good strategy at one point where he uses blood powers. So let me go to the restroom over here, and there's like water sprinklers at the top of the restroom for like fires or whatever. He ends up activating that. So his blood power is not as useful because it's getting like diluted with all the water raining down. But that
Right.
ends up not being enough, and Itadori still gets the crap beat out of him, and is basically on the verge of death. When Sakuna's like, "Oh, now's my chance," and he gains control of his body,
Yep.
and that's also when those two girls, when those two girls that Gato saved from the past arc, that was the two girls that the village were like torturing them because they were sorcerers. So he ends up killing the whole village and saving those two. And so they become super loyal to him. And they've been secretly in the background collecting more of Sakuna's fingers, hoping that let me we'll go to Sakuna, we'll give him all these fingers, so hopefully he won't kill us immediately, and do one, we just want one thing from you and that's it, and we'll collect all your fingers for you. And I believe that was to get revenge for Gato's death.
Yeah.
And so they after Sakuna like takes control of Itadori's body, the blood guy escapes. The volcano guy comes in after he kills a bunch of powerful sorcerer. He finds Sakuna, and he also wants to team up with Sakuna. So these two girls, the volcano guy, come to him saying, "Oh, we all want to team up with you." And the girls give him like 10 fingers or something crazy. They give him a bunch of fingers,
Yeah, they just like pour him down.
and they're like, "Oh, we'll get the rest for you too. We just want one thing from you, right?" And Sakuna's like, "Oh, thanks for the fingers, but no, I'm not going to do that." And he like chops their faces in half.
What?
that,
Yeah.
that was crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. So how many
But
fingers are left then?
there's only like 5 or so I think left at this point out of like 20.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But so he brutally kills those two girls anyway, just for the fun of it, and then he starts fighting the volcano guy because again he's like, "Well, no, I just do my own thing. I don't team up with anybody." And the
Yeah.
volcano guy, compared to Gojo, the volcano guy is like nothing. But compared to other sorcerers, the volcano guy is like out of their league.
Hmm.
So even Sakuna's like having a little bit of trouble against the volcano guy. But he does end up like they have a whole full citywide battle where there's buildings being thrown and fire being shot everywhere and volcanoes blowing up everywhere. But of
Yeah,
course
that
it's
was
like,
crazy.
yeah,
That was probably the best like animation moments.
yeah, that was one of them for one of them for sure. And
Yeah.
he does end up killing the volcano guy. Like he uses fire against the volcano guy, and his fire is more powerful because he's Sakuna, the best like curse ever, I guess. And he ends up turning them into burnt dust. And at that point, Sakuna runs into Megami, and Megami's fighting the little blonde, the kid with blonde hair and a ponytail. Do you remember him, Maddie?
Um is
He's the
what
guy
were they
that
from?
he was the guy that was fighting the girl, Kujisaki. And then Nanami ends up like beating him down down in the subway.
Yeah, I do remember that part.
And
Yeah.
he was like going around killing some of the less powerful sorcerers.
Yeah.
So he ends up finding Fujigoro, who's like hurt from his battle with the crab guy and his dad, and so he's like normally Megami could probably take this guy out, but he's like real messed up from all his battles. So at this point, he does finally employ his ultimate technique, which he's tried to do like 3 times before in season 1, but he's always been stopped. But this time he's like, no, there's nothing I can do. I have to use this now. And that's when he summons Maharaja, that giant white cursed spirit thing.
Yeah.
And so Sakuna comes across Megami, and I think the blonde kid finally gets killed after he's already killed a bunch of people, but he finally gets killed. But Megami already summoned Maharaja,
Mhm.
and so
Mm.
just goes to the most powerful guy that's right in front of him, and he starts like wailing on him. So now there's another huge battle in the city with Maharaja and Sakuna. And this battle is even bigger than the last one. There's like literally entire buildings being picked up and thrown at each other. And
Yeah.
so there's all these shots where there's people like dying and getting crushed by all the falling buildings everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's like a Dragon Ball Z battle. They're like flying through buildings and throwing all kinds of like colorful lasers and stuff at each other.
Yep.
And Sakuna says, "Oh, if you he's had more fingers at this point, so he's more powerful now. So if Megami would have summoned him from the first time he wanted to, Maharaja would have killed him. but at this point now he's too powerful. So now he is able to finally take him out, but he has to use all his entire power to take this dude out. And so at that, he is able to take out Maharaja after there's a giant hole put into the middle of like Shinjuku. But his power is used, so he finally Itadori comes back. Because if that Maharaja didn't come out, Itadori probably would have never came back. But because he wouldn't have had to use all his power, Sakuna wouldn't have had to use all his power to take it out.
Mm-hmm.
So Megumi did kind of save the day there, and using his ultimate technique, he's technically supposed to die after that. But Sakuna, for some reason that's unexplained, like has some sort of affection for Megumi, and so Sakuna ends up healing Megumi afterwards.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
But so after that, that's when he turns back into regular Itadori, and all the events, all the people he's killed comes into his brain all at the same time, and he's like freaking out, like holy crap, like what have I
Yeah.
done, type of thing.
Yeah.
But he's still like the happy-go-lucky guy, so he gets over that, and then that's when he runs down to see Megumi getting killed right in front of him. All this tragic stuff keeps happening to him.
Yeah.
And that's when the battle with Mahito starts. But the only important thing there is like they're fighting through the sewer, Mahito gets killed, and then he's Mahito splits off his two bodies because he wants to find and kill the girl Kujisaki to make Itadori even more messed up.
Yeah, I was like, wait, he could just do that?
Yeah, apparently he can just do that. He can just turn into multiple of his cells, but each of his cells were like less powerful.
Yeah.
So, but Mahito underestimates the girl Kujisaki, and she ends up like really messing him up, which gives Itadori, which like stuns his other form that's fighting Itadori. So Itadori like starts pummeling the crap out of Mahito. So Mahito's like, oh crap, all right. So his two forms start running back together to combine again. So Kujisaki is following one of his forms. Itadori's running after his other form. And so they all finally come back together. But they were actually just tricking Itadori because so they end up one of the forms end up touching Kujisaki's face. So her face gets blown up, so she's like bleeding out on the floor.
Yep.
And so at this point, Itadori's just like completely broken. He thinks his friend is dead. He thinks all his friends are dead. All his teachers are dead. All these people around, innocent people around me, are dead.
Yeah, that
So
was pretty sad.
yeah, he probably would have just died. Just let Mahito kill him at that point. But luckily, right in the nick of time, here comes Toto and like the one kid that can heal from Kyoto. So the Kyoto kid goes over and tries to heal the girl while Toto and Itadori start fighting Mahito.
Right.
My Toto like he kind of gets Itadori out of his little thing, out of his depression type thing. He's like, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here now. We can stop this. Nobody else needs to die. Let's go. Let's get this Mahito. So they end up kicking the crap out of him. But of course, Mahito is so powerful that he still has a fighting chance against them too. And meanwhile they're teleporting around because Toto's power makes people teleport with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So they're teleporting around. They're beating the crap out of him, and ends up going outside. Toto gets messed up. His hand gets cut off, but he can still use his power even without his hand. And ends up they do beat the crap out of Mahito. So Itadori's about to kill Mahito, but then here comes Gato / the Gato zombie comes back and absorbs Mahito before Itadori has a chance to kill him. And at this point, we're almost at the end of season 2. But now finally, some of the Kyoto students come back and try to fight off Geto and are unsuccessful. And then the blood guy comes back because he finally realizes, oh, we're I don't fully understand this part, but the blood brother comes back and is like, oh, Itadori's like technically my brother, and you made me try to kill my own brother to Geto. So blood guy then starts fighting Geto too. So it's all these different people fighting Geto together, but it's not enough. Geto's too powerful. He ends up like avoiding all their attacks and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he ends up escaping. But nobody else dies at this point. Just a bunch of people are messed up. And Sushi Kid gets his arms ripped off. Well, he gets his arms ripped off earlier by Sakuna.
Mhm.
But yeah, everybody's alive. Everybody left at this point's alive. They're all just messed up, and Geto escapes. And at the end of season 2, they're like, Yuta Ita's coming back because they're gonna end up killing Itadori. They commissioned Yuta to come back and kill him now. We gotta kill this kid at all costs. He's getting way too powerful now, and Yuta's like the most powerful student there. The kid from the movie,
Oh.
and and oh, we didn't even talk about the Gojo thing, did we? That he gets trapped.
Yeah, he gets sealed.
Yeah. So after the subway scene that I talked about earlier, where he goes within 0.2 seconds, he goes and kills a bunch of dudes and saves a bunch of dudes. He's like Then Gato walks in and he's so shocked because he's never seen Gato before in person since he thought he killed him. So he's so shocked by that he's like put off guard for just a moment, just enough to where Gato's able to lock him in like this prison box thing. So this whole time Sakan is like and Itadori are doing these huge battles out in the field. Gojo's been like trapped in this little prison box from Gato. So
And
at the
then doesn't he stay like that?
Yeah, the whole rest of the season, he's like stuck in the prison box.
And then at the end of the show, they say that they're gonna kill him.
So they say they hired Yuji to kill Itadori. That was the first thing they said. The second thing they said was nobody go after Gojo. He screwed up. Just if you try to save him, you'll be executed too. Just leave him to his fate.
Oh
And then
yeah.
the third thing is I think they planned on executing Panda's the principal that made the Panda guy because he was kind of like he kind of let Gojo do whatever he wanted basically. So he's kind of an accomplice in this tragedy.
Yeah.
And so that's basically season 2.
Have you read the manga? Do you know what happens after
No, I have
this?
not. I have not. I'm just anime only.
Yeah, same.
Same.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
It will. Listening out season 2, it's just insane. I would
Yeah, just
assume
listening to it.
season 3 would be the same.
Yeah, no, people have always said the Shibuya arc was the best, so I don't know. I don't know if it'll still be as good, but
Mm.
Yeah, like how do you like follow up from this? But
we didn't talk about the weird girl and the little brother, but we don't we don't need to talk about that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Maddie?
the weird girl?
Like she has the long blue hair that's covering her eye, and she has
Oh
that creepy little
yeah.
brother.
That was I didn't get that.
We don't have to talk about that. That's too weird.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a note of that. If
If you
anybody
know,
else
you
thought that was,
know.
yeah.
Should we answer some of the questions here?
Sure.
Probably I was thinking about that.
So let's answer Zomber's question. What is your take on the show's sitcom moments?
I feel like it's much needed. Like a good contrast from all the darkness and all the fight
Yeah,
scenes to bring in just a cute, fluffy moment.
yeah, I kind of agree with that. Season 2 doesn't really have any of that, but that's mostly season 1.
I know, I wish there was more. Like, honestly, if season 3 really like leaned into that and took a more like lighthearted stance, like that would make me very happy.
Mhm.
Because then you get to see more of the characters' personalities.
Mhm.
And then you kind of get to see like the goofier side of the animation style too.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So,
I was one of those people who never minded like the filler and like sitcom type stuff because I like if I like a show, I want to see more of it. I want to see as much as possible. So
Right.
yeah.
There's a fine balance where it's either
yeah,
too much or too little. And it's like,
it's,
I feel like Juju is on the brink of having too little.
yeah.
Like,
As long
Yeah.
as it's
the,
not too much of one or the other. But the season 2 did it was like all action though. So there was like none of that.
mm,
Yeah, because I
yeah,
think there was so much to fit in. I think with the Shibuya arc that it just didn't really make sense. Like
The
it was such a serious tone that was like where like there wasn't really like there was no time for the characters to just be doing their thing.
yeah,
mm-mm,
the amount of stuff that happened in season 2 is crazy, and they fit it in like 15 to 20 episodes or whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. So, yeah, I'm a fan of the sitcom moments and I think there's is definitely a fine line between filler and just like because it is kind of annoying when you're watching a show and then there's multiple episodes of just oh the characters are just gonna go do this for a day that has like absolutely nothing to do with the plot or
mm-hmm,
the story. But at the same time, like my favorite genre of anime is slice of life, and those don't really have like a lot of times an overarching like thing that the characters have to, impending doom that they have to fight or something.
Yeah,
right.
there's a goal sometimes, like Love is War. They're trying to get together by the end, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
but the day to day is kind of not always uh, the day to days they don't always
Focused.
connect very well. They're all kind of just random moments.
Which I will say with Jujutsu Kaisen, I would I would have really liked if there was like a little bit more romance of some sort.
Oh, okay.
I,
There
Like
was
I
there,
guess.
there was a little bit technically with Mekumaru and Miwa, but Mekumaru never said anything, and then he ended up dying, so he never got to say his feelings to Miwa.
yeah, I don't know, just I'm not sure. I just I like I like having two characters to root for and it doesn't really
Right.
have that.
Yeah, I get that for
That's
sure.
true. Yeah. equally, you don't want that to be pushed aside like My Hero. Like for the longest time, for at the very beginning, they were pushing for Uraraka and Deku to be together. Then they completely scrap it and
Well, they
throw it
both
in
have.
at the most random of times.
Yeah, they both have a crush on each other, but it's pretty random, just and it's spread out intermittently and not really touched upon that
Hmm.
much, or expanded upon.
Yeah.
So I
Then
guess that's just like even more frustrating than not having anything at all.
exactly.
So
And you
I
also
don't know.
don't want it to overtake the plot. Because,
Yeah,
that can completely shift the focus. Unless it's like a side character.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, none of the main characters really had anything. They were all just friends.
Hmm.
Which is okay, like, you know,
Yeah.
I guess we don't need every series to be about that. I guess I'm
Yeah,
just used to
Uh-uh.
it.
No.
yep.
True.
So we have a question from Potato Soup. First opinion on the current state of the manga. I
Or
think
anime. He
or
corrected
anime.
himself.
Um, I
We I think we sort of touched on it.
I think we've been talking about the current state of the anime the whole time.
Hmm.
So, um, and yeah, we don't read manga. So, it's pretty good. I hope that the um Studio Mappa employees are okay.
Yeah,
They were worked to death.
they've been chained to their desks for like months and months.
Hmm.
Like it kind of feels wrong to like binge the show when it's like they put their heart and soul
They,
into this for years and
they
just here
sac-
I am just laying in bed mindlessly consuming it.
they sacrificed their minds and bodies for our amusement.
I know that's just doesn't.
They did a good job though. The animation was incredible.
Yeah,
Hmm.
which we're gonna get to for sure.
Yeah.
The second question here was, and do you think Maharaga's feet are spicy?
No.
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 So that's it for questions today.
Oh, what about
Hmm.
your
Except,
favorite? What about your favorite characters?
oh
That's
yes,
true.
you,
Like what's your top three favorite characters?
Gojo, obviously.
Obviously.
The rest doesn't matter. Um,
Er,
I don't know. Maybe Nanami just because that was sad.
Yeah. I feel so
Uh,
bad for Nanami. He never got his retirement, his peaceful life.
yeah. I liked Megami. He was because just he was an interesting character.
Yeah. Itadori's too milk toast bland. So wouldn't put him in top three.
Yeah.
I definitely do Gojo one, probably Nanami two, and three would either be it'd probably be it. I was thinking between Toto and the girl Kujisaki, but I think not Toto uh, just barely gets number three. Such an
Okay.
interesting character with his, especially when he first met Itadori and he asked him about like what girls does he like and that kind of thing. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, it
That
was.
was.
That was the highlight of season 1.
Mhm.
It was.
And then he, like in his mind, he was imagining himself with like growing up with Itadori and that kind of thing. Yeah, that was funny.
That was so cute. It was
Yeah.
real. It was so cute. Sort of sad, but cute.
Oh, and his
Did
obsession
you?
with the idol chick too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a otaku.
Oh, and that came into play when he's fighting Mahito at the end, where he was like, in his mind, he was imagining he was the idol beating up Mahito. That was really funny.
What?
Yes.
Or he imagined he was fighting alongside her or something like that. So him and the idol were like beating up Mahito. But yeah,
Yeah. It was like a it was like a daydream moment that was pretty funny.
Mhm.
yeah, he might be on the spectrum, but I don't know. I don't know. What about you? You Liz, what's your 3 favorite? Do you have any favorites?
I do. Gojo, obviously.
Obviously.
I, I mean, it's Gojo. Nanumi
Anime.
and Nanumi. Yeah, that I'm devastated that he dies. Apparently, I'm
Yeah.
excited for that. And even though I can't remember his name, the dog dude.
Megumi
I,
Fujigoro.
yes, Megami. Yeah,
So our
I
top
love the.
threes are identical.
You two,
Yeah.
yeah. My third was Toto, but our top 2s are identical.
Mm,
Yeah.
But it's for good reason. I mean, Gojo and Megumi are great characters.
exactly.
Or who'd I say? Or Gojo and Nanami, I mean, are good characters.
Yeah.
They are.
Gojo's just so cool and so powerful and not and he seems good at heart at least. He saved all those
He
people.
does. When they're interacting together, I think of Aizawa and Percent Mike. Like I don't like Gojo's Percent Mike, the extrovert, just trying to be friendly to
Oh yeah.
Nanumi. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
why, I
kind of.
just see that dynamic.
Yeah, I definitely
Yeah.
see that. I can see that.
hmm Yeah. I like Megumi because of the dogs. I just love how the dogs are just there in the background and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's just treating them like dogs and like, good boy, you killed a
Uh-huh.
spirit. Good boy, you get a treat. That
Yeah.
part's cute. Yeah.
So, should we talk about the animation a little bit?
hmm
Okay. So, I guess it's pretty safe to say that animation is pretty incredible in this
hmm
series, as we've already been talking about. I would
Especially
s-
season 2.
I'd say the style of it is just like it's it's what you expect when you think of anime. I think
It is.
the character designs, the colors, I think the style of it. But
It really
what
is.
is what's so striking about, especially in the fight scenes, is just how smooth everything is.
Yes.
And it's like a lot of times things are happening so fast, and it's like how how is this happening?
Every
hmm
frame is like a painting,
It is.
especially in the battle scenes.
Yeah, it's insane.
And they had to
It's
do
so
tens of thousands of paintings per episode.
yeah, it's like it's crazy. Um, do y'all have like a favorite moment animation wise that you can think of, or just the fight scenes in general? I felt like when I first started watching the show, it almost felt like each episode was trying to outdo itself.
That's true. The animation does slowly get better. I feel like from season 1 to the end of season 1.
Yeah.
And I think something that feels like that also makes it feel really impressive compared to similar anime is also, I think another reason it's so smooth is the way that the camera moves with the character. Some of the angle
Mm,
transitions
that's true.
Oh, yeah.
is is crazy. Like it's
Mhm.
hard to describe. Like I feel like you just have to like watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
The way the camera followed Gojo as he was saving all those people was nuts.
Yeah.
It's like a close up on his face. His arms were like back up around him and like touching everybody rapidly, and stuff was zooming
Yeah.
by. And I don't know. It's hard to describe, but that was a really good moment of animations for season 2, and the Maharaja fight where they're throwing buildings at each other and rainbow laser beams at each other. That was another good animation moment.
Because like personally, I'm not usually like I said like slice of life is my favorite genre. I don't watch a lot of action centered shows and movies, I feel like. Like yes, there will be like battle scenes like in majority of anime, there's going to be something. But
Mhm.
I don't usually watch stuff where it's the focus. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, it's just like so impressive. And it's like now it's gonna be kind of hard to watch anything else.
Yeah,
True.
Cause it's like, well, here's the gold standard.
Mhm.
yeah. And a lot of shows like characters are like talking, and like it's like a slow panning shot where the frame is exactly the same. And that they
Yeah.
Yes.
like a lot of studios are lazy with that, but there's not a
Mhm.
lot of that kind of thing in Jujutsu Kaisen. They go
Right.
full out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of time where they're not really like talking during it as much.
That's
Yeah.
nice. It's more realistic in some ways. And yeah,
Because
Wanted to give,
I de you go.
you
I wanted to give I wanted to give a special shout out to the Gundam scene too at the beginning of season 2, but for the animation also. But I
Mm,
think the Maharaja battle was probably better. But I did want to shout that out real quick.
okay.
yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think it's probably one of the best animations in a Sojin series. Like, for the
Yeah.
longest time, I thought Demon Slayer was probably one of the best animations. The fight scenes were so clean, but up to season 2, I felt like Demon Slayer quality went very quite down. And the big comparison that I'm making between Juju and Demon Slayer is the monsters and special effects.
Mm.
It's like in Demon Slayer, they actually switch over to CGI, and you can notice it now. It's so seamless in Juju, especially with the monsters. And that's what makes it a very, probably one of the best animes, is that it's still, it, I don't know if it utilizes CGI or computer animations at all,
Mhm.
but if they did, it's very seamless.
Yeah, because a lot of times when they incorporate 3D, when anime incorporates 3D, it's like this kind of like it feels disconnected.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like very obvious sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, if they used
So,
it, if they used it in the show, it wasn't very obvious. It was pretty, yeah, it was pretty seamless,
Mm-mm.
like you said.
yeah, because I mean, like you're saying, I mean, the whole thing, it's just like a painting. Like,
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
I don't know if you guys have seen Mob Psycho 100, but it's very, the animation is similar to that. Animation
Mhm.
is like pretty detailed and insane with stuff flying everywhere.
I haven't seen it.
Neither have I.
I think that would be a good show for you guys to see eventually. It's got a really
Okay.
interesting, powerful story about a kid who doesn't know his place in the world, but he's like pretty super powerful, and he's a
Cool.
good kid out. He's a good kid at heart. And the animation is like on par with season 2 of this show.
Hmm.
But
Cool.
anyway,
Okay.
that's a side tangent. But you can go ahead.
Do y'all have anything else to add about the animation?
Mm-mm.
Well, then, let's talk about the soundtrack.
Yeah.
So, I felt like the soundtrack, it was good. It was good. I don't know if it like I think it elevated certain moments, but I don't think it was anything like too crazy.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think it wasn't really the focus. I think the animation was more of the focus because I don't
Mhm.
really remember. I really couldn't tell you what the music was for either season.
I felt
Yeah.
like during battles and stuff, I felt like there were a lot more of the sound focus was on like sound effects
Yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
just hearing everything happening. But I don't really remember the music much. In fact, the only time I really feel like I noticed it was when it wasn't there, because there's certain more quiet or intense moments that it is like silence.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
And so I think I really only noticed like the lack of it to like
Mm.
draw out that intensity. Otherwise, there were a couple like the moment with Nanami with the piano music.
oh yeah,
That was
Mhm.
really good. There's the another scene with a similar um with piano music behind it when they went to Okinawa.
hmm
Like
Hmm.
right before Rika gets shot.
yeah,
It was like music and then it happened, so I thought that was pretty effective. So,
yeah,
but other than that, I thought those two moments were very effective, but other than that, I don't remember much.
yeah. Same.
Yeah. I definitely don't. Nothing comes to mind about season 1. And
Yeah.
I do know that the intros and outros are almost perfect. I love the outro in season 1.
Oh yeah, we haven't
Oh,
talked about the
yes.
intros and outros. That's right. Like the ending of season 1, the animation is amazing and the song is really good.
Yes.
It's such a bop though.
I'd literally watch that ending song every single episode, and I've seen it like on YouTube a bunch of
Same.
times, like like on YouTube a bunch of times separately too.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it.
And then there's people that have remade it for other animes. That's so cool.
I saw somebody do a half live action remake of that ending where she's like mimicking the movement of the characters on YouTube.
Right.
That's cool.
Lost in
I also
Paradise. I think
liked.
it's-
Mhm.
I thought season 2 also had really good intros and outros. It didn't have that like unique style that the outro season 1 had. That I feel like is just
Right.
by far the most iconic.
Mhm.
Yeah, and none of the other outros or intros have beaten Lost in Paradise, but the
Mm-mm.
season one intro was okay, or pretty good, and then the second part of season 2 intro was okay, but the first part was decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of a shame that they didn't keep the outro style. Like, I felt like if they remade it and made it similar for the other seasons, that would have been entertaining. I guess they didn't really introduce many new characters in season 2.
Oh
I
No.
yeah,
don't know.
not really, yeah.
So, yeah, but now it's just Lost in Paradise is so different from everything
It
else
is.
that it would have been nice if they had continued it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh well.
It's
Which
Yeah.
that's what the
one of my favorite ending songs.
thumbnail
Oh yeah,
Yes.
is
Yeah.
inspired by.
yeah, I recognize that.
Mhm.
So, any final thoughts?
Not
It's a
that
very
I can pin on my
go ahead.
mm, you go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, you should definitely everybody should definitely go watch the show. It was crazy moments, sad moments, beautiful animation. Um, Liz, you should definitely go back and watch season 2, even though we kind of spoiled it for you. But it's
I I turned off my brain. I allowed y'all to carry it. I really don't know what happened.
yeah,
Uh,
it is kind of a confusing mess, especially if you lay it out like that. But
yeah.
it's in the in the moment, it's really good to
Chrono
watch.
was
Mm,
you were an excellent narrator.
you were.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
I should have made notes. I was just going
Same.
off of I was just going off of memory, but because some of the events were out of order. But yeah,
I mean,
Oh,
we're
that's
doing it
so
off of
good.
memory. That's still amazing.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, um, I guess if
Anybody
that's
else?
it,
Anybody else have
then
final thoughts?
Mm,
no, I
y-
think we covered it all.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, next up, we are entering the month of October, which is spooky season.
Yay.
So, for that, we are going to be covering another Studio Ghibli classic, Spirited Away.
Yes, that is a very good movie.
Hmm.
Classic Ghibli.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited
I think a lot
to
of people will be
Me
excited for
too.
that.
to rewatch this movie because
Yeah.
it is so great. So,
It is. The
yeah, you guys.
soundtrack is so amazing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. That's a highlight.
Mm.
So, you guys should watch Spirited Away too to be ready
Hmm.
for our next episode of Anime Brew.
Yes, please do.
So,
Yep.
And if you haven't, definitely watch the previous episodes. We're starting to build a nice, good collection of reviews and discussions. So definitely check those out if you haven't.
totally.
Mhm.
So, with that, let's uh finish this up by uh giving shouting out some socials. So wherever you're listening to this, you should give us a review, please, preferably 5 stars. And subscribe on YouTube or follow us wherever you get your podcasts. We are currently on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. So if there's anywhere else you think anime should be, comment below. You can, and then you should join the Discord, Radio Chaos. I think the link might be broken, the one under the YouTube, so I will fix that if I remember, or if it's not working, comment. But we will get you into Radio Chaos, which is a big Discord where Anime Brew is just one of the many podcasts. We have gaming podcasts, and we have the 1 Minute podcast, which is just a random stuff. I am on the 6 Minute podcast that is coming out eventually, where we talk about Legos and lo-fi. So you should listen to that. And it's just a fun time. We had our first community game night a few days ago. So if I could tell you to do anything, it would be to join the Radio Chaos Discord. It's a great community. And, you know, maybe you could even be a guest, like Chrono was today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I think that's all I got.
And follow Animal Davids on YouTube and Chronomagii with 2 eyes on YouTube. Thanks.
Yeah. Y'all should definitely check out Chrono's stuff. And you're streaming every Tuesday?
Yeah, I've
Kind
been
of?
streaming. Yeah, I've been streaming every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just random stuff that I feel like playing. Like lately, a couple times it was Nintendo World Championships. But
Awesome.
Nice.
yep.
Well, with that, y'all have a fantastic rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or twilight. And we'll see you next time.
Good
Bye.
afternoon, good evening, and good night.